નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી. Standard 8th, Subject Science, Chapter 11, Force and Pressure. So dear students, in the last video we have discussed the electrostatic force. See, what do you mean by electrostatic force? The force exerted by a charged body. See, now I will show you the example now. See, this is the poem. Just I will show like this. Look here. See, look here. See the paper. See, just again I will show. See that. See, this movement shows. So means what? The force exerted by a charged body. See, this is what we have done. That is charged body on another charge or uncharged body. So that is called as electrostatic force. Okay, all the explanation we have completed. Just only I have shown the activities now. Now we will see that gravitational force. So what do you mean by gravitational force? We know that the coin or a pen. Coin or a pen. See, suppose you have to take either coin or a pen. Okay, coin I will show you. See, look here now. If you are raising the coin, so see that where it falls. It falls down. As well as I will show you the pen. See the pen where it falls. So it comes down. See, the coin or pen falls to the ground when it slips off your hand or our hand. When it slips off our hand, and at the same time you will see that leaves and fruits also fall to the ground when they get detached. Detached means separates. D-E-T-A-C-H-E. Separates from the plant. So instead of going up, that falls the ground. Why this is? Okay, when the coin is held in your hand, is just I have shown you, is at rest position. See, first it was rest position. As soon as it is released, it begins to move downwards. So this coin, when I kept on the hand, see the coin. So suppose this is in the rest position. So when it moves, then what happens? It slips or it falls or it moves downwards. So it is clear that the state of the motion of the coin undergoes a change. So this is what? This is what force? Objects or things fall towards the earth because it pulls them. So this force is called as the gravitational force exerted by the earth is called as force of gravity, or you can say gravity. So this is an attractive force because it attracts. The force of the gravity acts on all the objects. The force of the gravity acts on all of us all the time without our being aware of it. See, for example, you see the water begins to flow downwards instead of going up. See, water will not move up, it goes down. So this is all, or whenever, as soon as you have opened the tap of water, it falls down, it will not go up. So water on the rivers flows down due to the force of the gravity. Okay, now, see, this gravity is not a property of the earth alone. See, this is not the property of the earth alone. So, every object in this universe exerts a force on every other object. So, this force is known as gravitational force. So, what is gravitational force? Every object in this universe exerts a force. Exerts means what? Creates a force on every other object. So, this force is known as, what you are saying? Gravitational force. See, for example, this is the object 1. So, name here you will F1. And this is the object second. Name is F2. See, this object creates pressure to this object, and this object creates pressure to this object. So, in this universe, every object creates a pressure or exerts a pressure on every other object. So this force is called as gravitational force. Okay, now we'll see the pressure. So what do you mean by pressure? See, the force acting on a unit area of a surface is called as a pressure. So you know that strong winds during the storm or a cyclone can blow even the roof of the rooftops. Okay. You also learned that winds and cyclones are caused due to the movement of the winds. Wind moves, the high pressure, it goes to the lower pressure. So try to push the, okay, these are all the creation of the pressure. Pressure means dabav. We are saying the dabav. So now try to push a nail in the wooden plank. Okay, for example, if you think that this is the nail, see, nail you say, so nail. Suppose this is the nail you think, this is one is the nail. And if you are pushing here, see, this is the smaller area. And this one you see, this is the larger surface area. And this one is very small surface area. So if you are applying the pressure, so which one fears more? Whether it is the small or the larger surface area. Okay, so just you guess it. So try to push the nail, iron nail, in a wooden plank by its head. So just what I have shown you in the similar manner. Try to push the nail in the pointed end. So in which one the fears first? You know that sharp one or the sharp point will fears more. So you know that cutting vegetables, knife, you know, with the blunt knife and then with the sharp knife, which is easier to cut the vegetables. So you know that sharp edge, because that is the small surface area. You know that the blunt one, say like this blunt one will be the more surface area will be there. So sharper one will be the, what you are saying, the less surface area. Okay. So now, one more example we will say, do you feeling that area of work with the force is applied? For example, the pointed end of the nail plays a role in making the task easier. So that is why, dear students, the force acting on a unit area of a surface is called as pressure. And this formula is pressure is equal to force divided by or force upon area on it which it acts. Okay, so you know that at this stage, we consider only those forces which act perpendicular. Perpendicular means what? 90 degree. Perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the, for example, this one. This is perpendicular to the surface. Okay. To the surface on which the pressure is, on which the pressure is to be computed. So here understanding point is, dear student, the smaller the area, larger the pressure. And the larger the area, the smaller the pressure. See, the smaller the area, larger the pressure. The larger the area, smaller the pressure. So, for example, you know that, see, just one or two activities we will discuss. I know that at this stage, say that which one? You know that whenever the nail is piercing, the smaller surface area will be pierces more than the larger surface area. Okay. So you know that whenever you are having the school belt, if you see, just you are wearing the bag, the school belt is kept broader, the bigger. So why that is? Because the larger surface area, smaller the pressure. So pressure will be less. So in this way, you see that. I know understanding why porters, you know that where in the railway station, the porters are place a round piece of cloth on this at the head. You see the round piece of cloth on their heads. When they have to carry heavy loads, so they will put on round piece of cloth. So by doing this, they increase the area of the contact. So increase the surface area. So smaller is the pressure, less pressure will be created. So that the area of the contact of the load with their head. So the pressure on their head is reduced. They find it easier to carry the load. So what are the idea, students? Now, you see that, now note that The area is in the denominator. See, area is in the denominator. Force is here, numerator, and area is in the denominator. Area is in the denominator in the above expression. So, that the smaller the area, the larger the pressure. The smaller the area, the larger the pressure. So the area of the pointed end of the nail is much smaller than that of its end. Say pointed nail, you should think the area of the pointed nail is much smaller than that of its end. For example, this I have taken this one. So this area is much smaller than this. Okay. The same force therefore produces pressure sufficient to push the pointed end of the nail. So that is why the pressure creates more. So end of the nail into the wooden flank so that pierces more. Then you see why shoulder bags, that what we have discussed, the shoulder bags also the school are provided with the broad straps. See, here give the question, can you explain now why shoulder bags? Why the shoulder bags are provided with the broader straps and not the thin strap? Why? Why the small thin strap not? The larger strap, why? So you know that because this is the reason, the larger the area, so smaller the pressure. Okay, so this is the answer for that. And at the same time, why the tools means for cutting, for example, cutting tools and piercing always sharp edges. So why you have to go for cutting with the sharp edges? Because smaller the area, larger the pressure. So what are the ideas, students? So these are all today's discussion. So what we have discussed? The first one we have discussed electrostatic force. So you know that when we have applied the comb, when we are rubbing the comb, small pieces of paper raise up. So that is why, and so now the raises up. This indicates that this is the electrostatic force we told. Electrostatic force because the pressure, the force created or the force exerted by the charged body to the another body or uncharged body. So that is called as electrostatic force. Then we have discussed gravitational force also. So every object in this universe exerts a force on every other object. For example, this object exerts the force to this object, and this object creates a force to this object. So this force is known as gravitational force. This force is called as gravitational force. Okay, now the next one, force of gravity means what? What do you mean by the force of gravity? The gravitational force exerted by the earth is known as force of gravity. So what is the force of gravity? The gravitational force exerted by the earth is called as force of gravity. Then what we have discussed? The pressure, the force acting on a unit area of a surface. Acting on a unit area of surface, so that is called as pressure. That is called as a pressure. So here the formula will be given. Pressure is equal to force upon area on which it acts. So pressure is equal to force upon area on each other. So area is in the denominator. And one more understanding point is the smaller the area, larger the pressure. See, the surface area smaller the area, larger the pressure, and the larger the area, smaller the pressure. So these are all the today's discussion important points that you have to note down. Dear students, you have to note down and even every definition of these lessons and as well as important points what we have discussed. Okay, so we'll discuss remaining discussion. See, pressure exerted by the liquids and gases. We'll discuss in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.